There is an island, less than a mile from Midtown Manhattan. You can see it from the Bronx. You can almost touch it from the shore, but you cannot go there. No boat will take you. No bridge connects to it. And if you try to get there on your own, the city will stop you. It has been sealed off, locked away, and completely abandoned for over 60 years. 25 buildings are still standing on it right now, rotting, collapsing, swallowed whole by trees and vines. And inside those buildings, beds, medical equipment, patient records, left exactly where they were the day everyone walked out and never came back. This is North Brother Island, and this is everything the city doesn't talk about. North Brother Island sits in the East River between the South Bronx and Rikers Island, the most notorious prison in America. It's 20 acres. That's smaller than a city block in Manhattan. But for an island this size, its history is heavier than almost any other piece of land in New York City. The Dutch claimed it in 1614. The British took it after them. For most of its early life, it was just a quiet little strip of land in the middle of the river. Nobody wanted it, nobody needed it. Then in 1885, the city made a decision. They were going to use it to hide their problem. New York City in the 1880s was one of the most overcrowded, disease-ridden places on earth. Smallpox, typhoid, tuberculosis. These illnesses were ripping through the tenements on the Lower East Side, and the city had no good answer. So they built a hospital on the island, Riverside Hospital, and they started sending the sick there, not to cure them, but to keep them away from everyone else. Out of sight, out of mind, the sick were loaded onto boats and taken across the water. Some of them came back. Many of them didn't. But the most infamous prisoner this island ever held was a woman named Mary Mallon. You might know her as Typhoid Mary. In the early 1900s, Mary was a cook, Irish-born, hard-working, completely healthy, or so she believed. But a city sanitary engineer had been tracking an outbreak of typhoid fever across 7 wealthy households in New York. Every single one of those households had one thing in common. Mary had worked there. She had infected 22 people, and she had no idea. She felt perfectly fine. She had no symptoms. To her, she wasn't sick. She was just trying to survive in a city that wasn't exactly kind to Irish immigrant women. On a March morning in 1907, health officers came to her door. Mary saw them coming and ran. She hid for 5 hours, crammed into an outdoor closet behind a pile of ash cans, before they physically dragged her out. They put her in an ambulance, drove her to the East River, loaded her onto a boat, and took her to North Brother Island. She hadn't committed any crime. She had no trial, no sentence, no lawyer. She was locked on that island because the city decided she was too dangerous to be free. Mary fought it, and eventually won. In 1910, after 3 years of forced isolation, she was released. She promised never to cook again. She went back to cooking. They brought her back to the island in 1915, this time for the rest of her life. Mary Mallon died on North Brother Island in 1938. She had been held there, against her will, for 26 years. Her belongings were found in her small cottage. A few books, some letters, and the notes of a woman who never stopped believing she was innocent. But before Typhoid Mary, before any of that, this island witnessed something so horrific, so devastating, that New York City didn't fully recover from it for a generation. June 15, 1904. A steamship called the General Slocum left Manhattan's Lower East Side carrying over 1,300 passengers. They were mostly women and children, German-American families from St. Mark's Evangelical Lutheran Church, heading out for their annual summer picnic on Long Island Sound. It was a beautiful Wednesday morning. Somewhere around 9:30 a.m., a fire started in the lamp room at the front of the ship, and everything went wrong at once. The life preservers were rotted. They crumbled in people's hands. The fire hoses hadn't been tested in years. They burst the moment pressure hit them. The lifeboats were wired so tightly to the deck that no one could free them. The captain, instead of beaching the ship on the nearest shore, kept the engines running. He was afraid of spreading the fire to oil storage tanks on the Manhattan banks. So he turned the ship north into the wind, and the flames exploded backward across the deck. He drove a burning ship full of screaming children directly into the current. The General Slocum ran aground on the rocks of North Brother Island. 1,021 people died that morning, mostly women, mostly children. It was the single deadliest disaster in New York City history until September 11, 2001. Bodies washed up on North Brother Island's shore for days. The German-American community of the Lower East Side was so devastated that within a few years, the entire neighborhood was gone. Families moved away, businesses closed, an entire community erased. And the island that witnessed it all just kept standing there in the middle of the river, silent. The hospital kept running for decades after, treating tuberculosis patients, housing World War II veterans and their families. Then in the 1950s, the city had a new problem: heroin. They reopened the island as a rehabilitation center for teenage drug addicts. And what happened inside was, in many ways, just as dark as everything before it. Addicts were locked in rooms until they detoxed. No treatment, no therapy, just four walls and withdrawal. Many of them later said they were held there against their will, with no idea when or if they'd ever leave. In 1963, the city finally shut it down. Staff corruption, crumbling infrastructure, no budget. The last person walked off North Brother Island that year, got into a boat, and crossed the river, and no one has lived there since. The city owns the island today. The Parks Department controls it. All 25 original buildings are still standing, barely. One photographer, Christopher Payne, was granted special access in 2006. He spent years documenting what he found. His photos looked like something from a dream. Trees growing through the floors of old hospital wards. Vines climbing up the nurses' dormitory. Nature has been quietly taking the island back, room by room, floor by floor, for 60 years. Today, the island is a protected bird sanctuary. You need a special permit even for scientific research. The city has discussed opening it to the public for years. Studies, proposals, plans, and nothing has happened. It just sits there. 2 miles from Times Square, hidden in plain sight. New York City has always been a place that puts its problems on islands. The sick, the imprisoned, the addicted, the dead. There is another island, just north of here, where the city has been quietly burying its unclaimed dead for over 150 years. 1 million people buried in unmarked graves. Nobody talks about it. That story is next. If you made it this far, you already know this channel isn't for everyone. Subscribe, because the places we cover, most people don't even know they exist.